Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named Beneficial Hall in the Relationships subreddit. The post is titled, "My friend's BF gave me an inappropriately expensive gift for my birthday. How do I react?" Last week, I celebrated my birthday with my friend group. We're all fairly close, and while we've never explicitly discussed presents or gifts, we naturally fell into an unspoken pattern regarding what kind of birthday gifts we give each other. We typically exchange gifts in the range of 10 to 40 euros, things like a book, a voucher for theater tickets, or maybe a nice bottle of wine. That kind of stuff fits our general income level since we're all young professionals or graduate students. A good friend of mine brought her boyfriend to the party and he gave me a gift of his own, separate from my friend's. Without going into too much detail, it was a small object that had a very thoughtful connection to a trip I took in winter. I was genuinely thankful for the gift and thought it was lovely. However, when I unpacked the item at home, something about it caught my eye. Certain parts of the item that I would have expected to be made of glass didn't look like glass. I ended up Googling the maker's mark on the bottom and found the exact same item online for the price of 750 euros. Now, it would be one thing if this guy were a trust fund kid for whom that kind of money was just peanuts. I'd still feel uncomfortable, but at least there would be some logic to it. However, my friend's relationship with this guy already has massive problems, largely centered around him being underemployed and making her pick up the tab for their shared lifestyle to an undue degree. We honestly all expect the relationship to fizzle out soon because they obviously aren't compatible in some key aspects. So now I've got this 750 euro item on my shelf and I have no clue how to handle this. It feels extremely inappropriate to have this gift. I'd feel uncomfortable accepting something like this from almost anyone I know, but the fact that it's a friend's romantic partner plus I'm gay and her boyfriend knows this. My friend has issues with her partner's handling of his finances just makes it even worse. It's also a highly specific item that I don't think he would just have lying around, so I'm pretty certain he must have bought this for the occasion and must be aware of its value. User Ranty said, "I'd bring it up with your friend. There is a chance that he got a really good deal or even a decent knockoff at a lower price. But honestly, if he's bad with money, even something half that price would be pretty inappropriate. Talk to your friend and offer to return the gift if it turns out to have cost as much as you suspect it did. Let her know you are incredibly grateful for his thoughtfulness, but it wouldn't feel right to accept such a lavish gift, and that their company and friendship are all you ask for. Just be honest about how you feel and let your friend decide how she wants to proceed." To this comment, OP said, "Yeah, I think I'll have to have a discussion with my friend. I also considered that he might have gotten some kind of bizarrely amazing deal, and I spent all of yesterday night Googling auction sites to see if there was a chance he bought this without knowing what it was and how much it was worth. I'm pretty sure though that unless something genuinely absurd happened, he must have paid at least 500 euros for this, and even that is a very generously low estimate. There is of course a chance that he just had this item, but it's so specific and rare that I don't think some random pseudo finance bro would just have this in his house, see it and think, it's my girlfriend's friend's birthday, that might be a good chance to get rid of this. It's totally bizarre behavior. I don't know what this man was thinking, but I need this thing out of my house." User Break Maleficent said, "I don't think the potential issue is the price, but rather that he had a separate gift for you, which seems a little odd. Was it from both of them? I may be dating myself, but there's a Friends episode where Chandler gets a very thoughtful and expensive gift for Joey's girlfriend because he's in love with her. I don't actually think it's worth getting involved from the perspective of he's bad with spending. I should tell my friend. Let them deal with that aspect. I would just keep an eye out for other signs that he is interested in you." Update. I ended up texting my friend and telling her that I had researched the gift and discovered it was worth a very inappropriate amount of money. She was very surprised by the entire situation, especially considering her boyfriend is perpetually broke and makes her foot the bill for their shared lifestyle. She came over to my place and together we called him on speakerphone where she demanded some answers. Long story short, he stole it from his own mother. He's still being a bit shady about some details, but we managed to piece together the sequence of events to a satisfactory degree. My friend was supposed to be coming to my birthday party straight from work. When she left her office, she realized that she had forgotten the gift she had planned for me at home. Since she was already running late and her place is pretty far from both her work and my flat, she chose to text her boyfriend, who was having dinner at his parents' home at the time. She knew he was there and knew his parents lived close to me, so she asked him to just buy a copy of the same book at a bookshop on his way to my place so they'd have a gift. For reasons known only to him, he did not choose this simple, reasonable solution to the "we forgot our gift" issue. Instead of leaving 5 minutes early to pick up another copy of the book, he instead chose to just grab a random item off his mother's living room shelf. Without asking her. He had no idea what it was, just thought it looked pretty, took it, and stuffed it in a paper bag. He also did not text back my friend or react to her calls, so she assumed he hadn't read her message and ended up going back to get the book, which was why they arrived separately and with separate gifts. Meanwhile, the boyfriend had unknowingly gifted me not just any antique. No, this item had been passed down to his mother from her 3 times great-grandmother. It had been in his family's possession for literal centuries and was the only tangible connection she still had to her home country, which incidentally is also my mother's home country, which he wasn't aware of, meaning that what I thought was a thoughtful connection to my trip there was a total coincidence. He had no idea of the item's cultural significance. My friend immediately made him call his mom to fess up to the entire situation. His mother had been running herself ragged trying to figure out where this item disappeared to for days. Obviously, she never suspected thievery and was blaming herself terribly for having lost something this important. The boyfriend actually had the gall to try to convince her not to make her call his mom. He wanted to sweep the entire thing under the rug. Of course, we didn't let that happen. His mother came by my place this morning and I returned the item to her along with some apologies for not starting investigations immediately and some nice chocolate. We had a lovely conversation about our shared cultural heritage. I assured her that the item had been treated with dignity for the entire time it was in my possession, and we parted ways with a hug. She also told me that my initial estimate of the item's value was incorrect. It's actually worth even more money. It would probably sell for a 4-figure sum at auction. I don't know what she wants to do with her son, but I hope she whoops his ass. My friend, for obvious reasons, broke up with him. Lessons learned. Google suspicious gifts and lock away your sentimentals and valuables when people you're not entirely sure about come over. The gall of this man. This next post was made in the True Off My Chest subreddit by a user named Panty Mayonnaise. The post is titled, "Husband Walked In On Me. We've had a bout of the flu going around the house the past week. I'm feeling it, but not as bad as my husband. Last night he was starting to feel better and I was hoping to do the deed since it's been a while. He said he was feeling up to it, so I was really turned on. It was his turn to put our daughter to bed, so I was just sitting in the living room counting the seconds until he walked out of the room. After about an hour, he still hadn't come out. Then I heard snoring. Adult snoring, my husband snoring. I was a little let down, but understanding since I know he wasn't feeling well. The night before, he passed out at 7 p.m. and didn't wake up until the next day, so I figured it would be the same scenario this night. So I grabbed the old reliable rose and headed on my merry way. Not even 3 seconds in, my husband walks in. Mortified, I start laughing because what else do you do in that situation? He looks extremely angry and I'm just trying to pull my drawers back up at this point. Once I finish, I ask him if he's mad. He tells me, well, since you couldn't even wait more than an hour, you might as well finish yourself off because I'm completely turned off right now. That hurt a lot. At that point, I got upset because if it were me that walked in on him, I'd get totally turned on and offer to finish him off. I said some not so nice things and never got off and still haven't. Sometimes I feel like I don't even know the man I married. User Kangaroo Think said, my fiance has walked in on me, laughed, and offered to help me finish because he wasn't up for sex. Falling asleep is okay, and so is taking care of your own needs. To this comment, user CD22 said, yeah, if anything, she was being considerate. She knew he didn't feel well, was tired, and was taking care of child duties. Even if she was disappointed, she shrugged it off and decided to take care of herself without disturbing him. She even offered to keep the plan when he came in. I hope his reaction was just a bad response to feeling guilty for shirking his promise and not some weird misplaced sense of jealousy or insecurity. Both are not great, but one is worse than the other. I mean, Christ, just be happy you have a loving wife in front of you who is eager to be intimate. He could have played it off by saying something like, well, now that you've been teased enough, let me give you what you want, or something along those lines. Alternatively, he could simply say he's sorry but that he's too tired or not feeling well and move on. There's no reason to act like such a baby about it. User Zan37 said, wow, that's pretty messed up. He falls asleep and it's your fault. He's turned off by you taking care of yourself. I'm sorry, but I would be super pissed off and hurt. You get me all worked up in anticipation and then fall asleep, leaving me hanging. So I pull down my big girl panties to take care of myself and you act like it's something disgusting you walked in on? Yeah, sorry, but there better be a lot of effort making that up to you. I'm sorry you're dealing with that and hope when his man flu is gone, he will realize he was also afflicted with asshat disease and seek treatment for that as well. User will cry for cash said, there is actually a significant demographic of men who are truly threatened by their wives or girlfriends pleasuring themselves. I once had a boyfriend with this complex and it evolved over a period of years into rampant jealousy, culminating in low levels of physical and sexual abuse. To this comment, User Whisper said, here are also a lot of women who feel the same way, especially if is involved. I don't think we should police how people feel about these things, but the husband shouldn't have been rude to OP just because he was hurt, insecure, or disappointed. He should have waited until she finished and then asked to have a civil conversation about why he felt the way he did. People in the comments saying he's mentally ill or stupid for not being turned on by it aren't considering that some people just don't handle those situations the same way as others. His reaction in the moment is what matters, and like I said, he should have kept his composure until there was a better moment to explain why he felt the way he did about it. This last post was made in the relationship advice subreddit by a throwaway account. The post is titled, My GF has given up on her career after I became a millionaire. How do I tell this won't work out? Backstory, I met my girlfriend Kylie in community college 7 years ago. We became really close friends and started dating 2 years later. At the time, she wanted to be a nurse, which was great. She was really passionate about it and I fully supported her. I ended up transferring to a 4-year university and earning my MBA. Kylie supported me emotionally the entire time through school, for which I'm grateful. Kylie's parents ended up cutting her off financially because of her spending habits. She took a year off to work to help with her bills. In the meantime, I invested all my savings, time, and energy into a startup platform with my best friend in the automotive industry. Earlier this year, we were bought out for a life-changing amount of money. We were both kept on as consultants with high-paying salaries as well. Kylie had kept her job at the jewelry store this entire time. After the buyout, she told me she was handing in her 2 weeks' notice. I offered to pay for her school and expenses. At first, she was excited to go back and earn her nursing degree. I ended up purchasing a condo for us to live in close to her school. Over the weekend, we were talking, and she mentioned that she wasn't sure about wanting to go back to school and that she could be a stay-at-home wife. I didn't say anything in the moment because I wasn't sure how to respond. Part of what attracted me to her in the first place was her ambition. It just doesn't sit right with me that she quit her job and career goals after I came into money. Her shopping and spending have also increased. She's been looking at new cars. I could be overreacting, but something just doesn't seem right. I still love her and want it to work out, but I don't like this new side of her that I'm seeing. User Coastal Kid said, I'm not sure what kind of advice you want here. It's pretty easy to tell her that you never wanted a stay-at-home spouse. You want a partner who is also contributing to the household and that you really value her ambition toward having her own career and independence. You need to have a frank discussion that, as of right now, your assets are not shared wealth. You can express that you are happy to help her go back to school, but you intend for your lifestyle to be whatever you choose, and that you plan to invest further in your future. User Cardabella said, $1 million isn't enough for a family to live in luxury without working. OP, you need to tell her that changes in plans need discussion. You bought a condo to support her career and now she says she doesn't have ambition. You're not sure who she is anymore. Your whole windfall isn't shared wealth. It is intended to last you for your lifetime. Within that, you will share what you allocate each passing month and year as you navigate life together. However, you don't want a trophy girlfriend. You see this kind of funding as an opportunity to pursue your dream career, not as a means for someone to freeload and fritter it all away without purpose. You need to talk about it. User Sherry Simp said, now you see why her parents cut her off financially. She's a mooch. Sit her down and explain that you are willing to pay for the basics, but only if she goes back to school. You will not be paying for anything more, and she needs to continue working. After all this time, she should have already finished school. To this comment, OP said, side story for the reason she got cut off. She ran over her friend with her car. Kylie says it was unintentional, but the friend disagrees. The friend ended up suing Kylie's parents on the basis that they owned the car Kylie was driving. Anyway, Kylie's parents ended up settling with the friend for $250 grand. They told Kylie she needed to get a job and get her own car after this. Update. First, I would like to thank everyone for their time and advice. I truly appreciate everyone's input. I had a serious conversation with my girlfriend Kylie about our future on Thursday night. I told her that she needed to figure out a plan for the future, whether that meant finding a job or going back to school. I informed her that if she goes back to school, I would support her financially, including paying for her degree. I gave her until December to figure out her plan. She became really defensive and told me that she was the reason I'm in the position I am in life. She said that I should pay for her lifestyle since she was there from the start. Then she proceeded to tell me that she wasted 5 years of her life with me and that she could have been married and had a family by now. I was shocked because I had never seen this side of her. She was having a complete meltdown. I ended the conversation by telling her that I tried my best to make this relationship work, but it won't work like this. Unlike her, I come from a very middle-class family where both of my parents had jobs and contributed to the household. It felt like she was a completely different person. That's when I realized that the money had really changed her. I told her that I had a business trip and that when I got back on Tuesday, I expected her to have all her stuff moved and to give a mutual friend I trust the keys. That same night, I canceled her credit card. The car she currently drives has $6,000 left on the loan, but luckily it is in her name, so I'm not responsible for it. I've been making the payments on it for her for the last 6 months. I don't feel too bad about kicking her to the streets since her parents would never let her be homeless. Fast forward to Friday, her sister called me a few times, and although I initially ignored it, I decided to answer since they were inside my condo. The sister basically told me that Kylie has been crying all day and wants to work things out. I told her it was too far gone for repair. Then today, her best friend called me wanting to know if I could meet for some drinks, which I thought was odd. Her best friend said she had some things to show me that were causing her to lose sleep. I told her that I would think about it, but honestly, I don't care at this point. Finding out about whatever Kylie did behind my back would just cause more pain. When I get back, I'm going to put the condo back on the market because I have no use for it anymore. Honestly, I have no interest in dating anymore. It's way too difficult for me to see the true intentions in people. Thanks again for all the help and support. This will probably be the end of this post. Side note, I had a lot of questions about Kylie running over her friend. I didn't know Kylie when this happened. She originally spent her first semester of college at a private university and told me she accidentally put the car in drive instead of reverse and ended up hitting her friend. Kylie was super apologetic and the friend forgave her on the spot. However, when the friend's mom found out about her daughter being hit by a car, they did research and learned that Kylie's dad is a big-time CEO of a major corporation. They decided to sue her parents. The lawsuit was settled outside of court between Kylie's parents and the friend for $250,000. After that incident, Kylie had to leave the private college and move back home since her parents wanted her living there with them. I don't think it was intentional on Kylie's part. Honestly, this is just another side of her I've never seen in 7 years of knowing her. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, Gamersupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.